Hey, this is Wyatt Flores. You're listening to Music Row with Leake.
Welcome to Music Row, a backstage pass to your favorite country artists. Here's your host, Leake.
The 58th annual CMA Awards went down Wednesday in Nashville. Chris Stapleton was a big winner of the night, taking home 3 of his 5 nominations, including Male Vocalist of the Year, as well as both Single of the Year and Song of the Year for his song White Horse. Morgan Wallen was nominated in 7 categories, the most of any artist this year. He only took home 1 award, though, Entertainer of the Year. Now, despite being the top award of the night, Wallen was absent from the ceremony. The show's co-host Lainey Wilson also took home 2 trophies, including Female Vocalist of the Year and Music Video of the Year. And Cody Johnson picked up the CMA for Album of the Year for his release, Leather. If you missed the show, you can catch it online through DirecTV, Sling TV, and Hulu. From the CMA Awards to the CCMA Awards now, where Canada showcases their own, just announced the 2025 awards will take over Kelowna's Prospera Place on Saturday, September 13th. Now, Country Music Week will start 4 days earlier with shows throughout the city, and you can pick up your tickets now at a special early bird price at CCMA.org. Country Thunder Alberta is gearing up for another unforgettable weekend with the announcement of their headliners, and they include Cody Johnson, Bailey Zimmerman, and Old Dominion. Many more will take the stage downtown Calgary August 15 to 17 in 2025. You can head to countrythunder.com for a full lineup and pick up your tickets.
Music Row on Tour, brought to you by Live Nation.
You can catch this week's guest, Wyatt Flores, at the Fillmore in Philadelphia, December 4th. 2 nights later, he's going to be in Brooklyn, followed by Boston, and 3 nights in Nashville, including the Opry stage. So that's pretty cool. Sammy Kershaw is going to be in Fort Worth, Texas on December 6th. That same day, Tracy Lawrence hits the showroom at Wild Horse Pass in Chandler, Arizona. And Zach Bryan, he continues his tour with 3 nights coming up in Tulsa, starting December 12th.
Hey, this is Wyatt Flores, and you're listening to Music Row.
Okay, Wyatt Flores, welcome to Canada. I'm not your official ambassador of the country, so how has it been so far for you?
I mean, I've enjoyed it. Even since the first time we came here back in November, I thought it was awesome. And then the fact that we're getting to actually tour here now.
Yeah, number of dates, not just one
not
shot
just one,
and then leave. Spend more time maybe at the border.
Well, we actually went through there just fine. So we thought we were going to be there for a little while, or at least the band did. They had to come in and wake me up and be like, hey, they need to talk to you. But yeah, the border didn't take long at all.
Management always, I think, when you get to a border, an international border, they're the last people you want to talk to because they are stressed because they think they're going to find out something new about one of your bandmates.
Oh, yeah.
That is going to hold this bus behind, right?
and especially, I mean, we got a target on our back. We're in a tour bus.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's clear that you're up to no good.
Yeah.
If you have a tour bus, no good is about to go down.
Even though we ain't got nothing illegal, we still look like we're not right.
I've heard
we're a band.
I've heard of tours that would be doing the U.S. and when they would come to Canada, there was such a risk with this band's tour bus coming across. They would purposely send a clean bus across the border to pick everybody up. Like I'm talking like a Greyhound bus. So nothing fancy, no beds, just to make sure that the band got across okay.
No kidding.
This is a possibility, something that you can maybe use in the future if one of your bandmates decides to go a little bit sideways.
Yeah, I don't think we'll have that issue because the bands, we do some devious stuff, but nothing like that. Like we just had to smoke all of our weed before we got there.
Good news now is you can get it anywhere.
Oh, yeah. Which is kind of the funny part.
I think you could always get it anywhere, but now it's absolutely legal.
Oh, yeah.
Not getting called out.
It's a way better deal. I'm happy that they did that. And they're still doing it in some of the states. Some of it's medical. Most of it has been recreational. But I love that Canada is just all over, across the board. Just, it's legal.
Medical is such a funny thing that we use as a excuse now for whatever we want to do. Oh, yeah. Well, I have a medical condition. I require to have my therapy alligator on the plane.
Oh, yeah.
This new album, I can't believe that you were able to put out EP after EP and then right into an album right away, only seconds after dropping out of university. Was there like a giant bank of music that was just sitting around, or are you just like so fidgety you got to be always writing?
It was one of those things where it was just snapshots of where I was. So in the early days, you can really tell how new I was at it when you listen through and trying to figure out songwriting. You can kind of see like the glimpses of where I'm starting to get it. And then as it keeps unfolding, just constantly growing. But yeah, doing the 3 EPs or 2 EPs and then I guess 3, but then there was a break between and then finally dropping life lessons and then immediately, like, I don't know how many people know this, but like it came out in November, life lessons did. By December, I was finishing up touring and then I was immediately recording Half-Life while also writing for the next album. And so it's just been constantly recording, writing, and then writing for the next thing. And then while Half-Life is coming out, I'm recording an album. So it's just one on top of the other.
And this is something like a new development for you as a person.
Oh, yeah.
Because like we mentioned, you were going to university. I think you were there for about a half hour.
Dropped out in 2020. I was only there for 1 semester. And then at that point, I became my own solo artist because beforehand I was playing bass and then opening up for him for 45 minutes in the band that I was originally in. And then, I'd farm and ranch and then I'd go play as many shows as I possibly could. And that was a fun time where work ethic really had to be there because you'd have to be all day in the fields and then he'd go run across the state and then go play for 4 hours and then get home hopefully before 3 and then get up again and go back to work.
And getting up on a farm means like 6 a.m.
I wish that I was better at it. There's a couple times the boss man knew where I lived, so he'd come over and he'd start honking his horn right next to my bedroom window.
Now, did you actually grow up on a farm and you weren't in a suburb?
Yeah, it was no, I didn't grow up in the suburbs, but grew up on a small ranch. And then that ranch started taking a tumble back in like 2011, 2010 to like 2012.
What kind of ranch was it?
It was just a cow-calf operation. So our numbers started dropping just because of the drought. We started having to transport water, and it was just a bad deal. And then my uncle, because it was my dad and my uncles, they ran it together, and then he ended up having to follow his kid down to Florida. So half the herd was gone by then. And so now pretty much I've just started my own, and basically that's what the Flores Cattle Co. merch is doing. It's just helping me and my business over there.
So it's your other side hustle because you weren't busy enough just jamming out songs. Have you do you write songs when you're on the road?
I try, but really it's a lot harder. Just to kind of take yourself away from all the work that's going on already, and then to put yourself in a space where you can be creative. Because for the most part, when I'm touring, I'm just focusing on the show. So every single day we're trying to fix what we did wrong the night before and then also keep growing the songs and have new ideas. So writing on the road hasn't really been a thing.
Wyatt Flores, just so I get this, you've been out for over a month now. You've got another month to go. Lots of great shows coming up. You're playing, I've seen, looks like next year, all the great music festivals. What's going to happen come calving season?
Oh, man.
Because they're going to need you around the ranch. This is going to be one of those things.
I mean, I'll be off for January and February, so I'll be doing a lot of that. And I'll be writing at that time. Since we'll be off the road and I won't be on a tour bus, that's kind of, just having fun being just me, not the artist, Wyatt Flores, I guess. Which I'm lucky that I get to do both and still be the same person, but my responsibilities of that will be put on hold until we come back to tour on February 28th, and I'll just be able to go help with all the stuff on the farm, and then basically just hopefully write things that are in my heart and really just get more life experience than just living out on the road, because I don't want to write songs just about traveling, because not everyone understands that life, and I'd rather write about real life experiences and stories, and in order to do so I have to do a little bit of living.
I have a friend who grew up on a bison farm.
No kidding.
And she says that she misses the smell of manure.
Oh, yeah.
Like she actually is drawn to it. She goes, oh, this smells like home.
Yeah, it's a real thing. It sounds crazy, but it is. It's a real thing.
When you made the decision to leave school and just be pumping out as much music as you have in the last, call it 3.5 years, I'm guessing it was a little bit of an easy sell to your family because there's always been music in the family.
Oh yeah, since my dad was a drummer, he had the choice of hitting the road and on an actual tour or getting a full ride scholarship to go play football, and he chose the scholarship because he didn't come from money. So he was like, I'd rather get my education paid for, and sadly, both my parents ran out of money when they went to college, so they both had to drop out. My sister's the only one that actually made it and graduated. But yeah, I looked at them and I was like, they'll take my money, however old I am. So might as well go live this thing out while I'm young instead of trying to do it when I'm 30 and I have 2 kids.
You talk like 30, you're going to be old. You're going to be looking back at this day going...
It's a lot easier when I got nothing to lose, and I didn't have $1 to my name. So I was making good enough money doing the ranching and playing shows. Like that was the first time that I actually seen money. And then when it came to actually sitting down and writing in Nashville, that was like the first time in my life where I was like, my management at the time made me stop playing shows. And so I was literally just on an air mattress from 2022 of June until let's see, that would have been April 23rd or 2023 is when I finally moved into another house and wasn't on an air mattress anymore. And when I was in the air mattress days, we're in an apartment.
It sounds already like an album, by the way. The air mattress days.
Well, that was my college was going and just sitting in an apartment with my guitar player, and then, well, he wasn't my manager yet, but he is now. So we all 3 slept on air mattresses in the same room together, and yeah, that was my education, was trying to learn how to do the social media aspect of it, learning how to write, and then also trying to get better at music, which was just sitting around with my guitar player and learning other songs. And
were you working with lots of other writers during that time?
I was working with a lot of other writers. That was my education, and I wanted to learn. I wanted to be a sponge. I don't care what anyone has to say about me writing with other people, because for me, the greatest advice that was ever given to me was my father, which was just saying, go be a sponge, soak up everything that you absolutely can, learn everything that you can. And that's kind of what Life Lessons Project was about. And
it teaches you, maybe it's not even learning how to write songs all the time. It's learning how to work with other people.
Oh, that's what college is for. College is a funny thing to me, and I have a lot of opinions about it. But yeah, really, you don't need to have an education, because most people that do get one and get that little piece of paper with their name on it in the university, they're not doing the job that they thought they were going to do. That's just the way it goes. And really, they're just looking for a little piece of paper. And some jobs do require you to go to school, but for the most part, you don't.
Tell me about then your songwriting process today. What does it look like? Do you have a guitar in your hand and a song comes to you, you start playing it, and then play it for somebody else right away? Or do you have to let it sit with you for a while?
I get excited over some songs and I'll start playing it for someone and be like, here's kind of how it goes. But when it comes to the songwriting process, like when I am out on the road, if I do write, I don't sit down with a guitar. I usually am just in thoughts in my own head. So then I just sit there and write out the lyrics right in front of me before I even have a melody or the chords.
Actually on paper, or are you putting it into
usually
your phone?
Just notes. Yeah, that's a lot easier. And because sometimes I overthink so much. So and I got ADHD, so writing on paper, that's just a whole bunch of erasing and then starting over and then doing it. Yeah, it's just easier for me to type. Yeah, because I when I get locked in on something, I look like a madman over there just typing away on my phone, but I'm just constantly going back and forth between lines and then writing new ones. And then, yeah, when I get locked in on a song, I could be stuck there for hours.
Have you had a moment where you've recorded something, say a melody or whatever, and you play for a friend, someone who you trust, and that person goes, that song sounds a lot like this. And you're like, damn it, I thought I was doing my own thing.
That shit has happened way too many times. But I got 2 friends that don't necessarily listen to a whole lot of country. They are country as hell, but they'd rather listen to rap. And I'd always take my songs to them. And they're the 2 biggest bullies that I've ever had, and they're my best friends. but they were always so hard on me when it came to music and playing guitar. And so I'll never forget coming home after I'd wrote Please Don't Go. And I sat them both down at the kitchen table, and I said, I want you to hear this, and I want you to tell me what you think. And both of them sat there with tears in their eyes. And then that was like the moment I knew that Please Don't Go had a fighting chance. But if I ever bring them another song, they'll shoot me straight. Those are my people that don't care about what I'm doing out here or how successful I am. They will just absolutely go, no, that's a shitty song. You should never let it see the light of day. Or they'll be like, that one's actually not bad. And then there's other times where they're like, this shit slaps. And then I'm like, okay, we're good.
I think that it's good that you have these people around, but there's also that time where you might play something in front of an audience. Have you ever brought out new songs in front of an audience? And you're like, I was going to road test this and see what the fans think?
That's all we could do for a longest time, because I only had 7 songs out, maybe 9. Because I forgot we dropped quite a few singles, like Way Back Home, Burning Bridges, Break My Bones, Ain't Proud. So I guess I had quite a few, but when we first started touring, that's all I could do. And so I was still writing and recording at the same time while being on tour for life lessons, which is why it was such a stressful time. So I tried out a whole bunch of songs that never actually got to see the light of day like I thought they would. And you know, they weren't bad, and the crowd still cheered for those songs that never seen the light of day, but I necessarily don't regret not having them see the light of day, if that makes sense.
I like how you say, yeah, they weren't bad. I mean, people still cheered.
Yeah, people still cheered, but sometimes
they might have just been cheering because they really like you.
Yeah,
they're giving you some store credit in the applause.
And I appreciate that from my fans, because I got a great fan base that's loving and caring, and they're not just there to get drunk, if that makes sense. So I'm very lucky to have that be cultivated and have that at every show or everywhere we go. And yeah, that's really, I'm very blessed to have the people in my crew, but I'm also blessed that we've cultivated such a nice fan base. But that's why I go back to my 2 friends and show them songs, because they'll demolish me if I show them a bad song.
You're in Nashville for about a year, writing all these songs with friends. Are you seeing lots of shows while you're in Nashville, or were you kind of stuck and focused on just banging out these tracks?
I made it a thing in my own head to where I wasn't going to go out and about. Like later on, I made quite a few friends, started going to a couple bars and watching other people play and getting out and about. But for the most part, I told myself, if I'm going to go away from home, I'm not just going to dick around the entire time. So pretty much it was music constantly 4/7.
What about the Ryman?
The Ryman.
You've got 2 sold out shows coming to the Ryman. You're going to be playing.
I got to
be
play
at the Opry. Did you see anybody play there while you were?
Oh yeah. Nashville? I mean, shoot, one of the people that I went and seen, I got to open for at the Ryman, which is Charles Wesley Godwin.
He does okay.
I'm pretty sure that was my first time ever at the Ryman, was watching Charles, and then he asked me to open up for him the next year. And I got to go up on the Ryman both nights, and that was my first experience there. And that feeling does not change. When you step out on that stage at the Ryman, it's breathtaking.
I know you're a fantastic artist. You're extremely talented. But I've heard people say that when you play at the Ryman, you don't even need to be that good because the room is so good. Oh,
yeah. No, that's a real thing. The room is the best sounding that I've ever been in. I don't know how that is possible, but literally does not matter how good of a player you are. As long as you can get through and your timing's not that bad, it sounds pretty damn good.
What have been some of your highlights thus far on this current tour?
On this current tour? Whew. Man.
It could be even off the stage. Has there been, because I know when you're traveling with the band, as much as you may have been together for the last 6 months, you're always learning something new.
Oh, yeah.
From a bandmate that you didn't know before.
We're still working up most of these songs on the album. I mean, we play quite a few in our show, but we're not just absolutely just playing all 14 songs every single night. And so we're having fun right now, which this is a new thing for us, where we've gotten our process down a lot faster to where we start having like these miniature rehearsals instead of sound check. Now that we have our own in-ear rig and everything else like that, thank you, by the way, to all the fans, because you've allowed for that to happen, for us to be in a bus, to actually have all this production gear. it allows us to finally work at a place or in a pace that's faster than we ever have or could ever ask for. Because it's hard to get rehearsal days in whenever you're on the road. So finally, our sound checks are where we finally just start jamming together. We start trying new things, collaborating together to try and make a song turn into something that it wasn't before in the recording process.
That's a tough thing, right?
It is.
You've been in the studio, and then a producer will add something along the way, and now you go, great, it sounds perfect. It sounds like an amazing full album. How the hell are we going to bring this to the stage?
It's there's some songs that we leave alone, and I really like the way that the production turned out, and I just want to recreate that live and not change too much about it. Of course, it's going to be different. The variables are different, so nothing will ever completely sound like what it is on the recording side. But I'm filled with a whole bunch of musicians that aren't just paid people. Like, yes, they get paid, but they're not hired guns like a lot of bands are. This is my family. So when it comes to us playing music, we're all very, very creative. And so it's very easy for us to fall into a different groove and to find these different spots. And everyone plays different. And we're all so unique and diverse that when we play together, you feel that. So we just keep on throwing out ideas until
Keeps it fun.
Yeah, it keeps it fun. It's not just like hey, we're going to play the exact thing that was recorded. We try and spice it up and write new things. And for the first time ever, it feels like we're finally getting to work quicker than we ever have and get our ideas across faster.
I'm guessing too, as you're hanging out with your friends that are now the band, you're all experiencing so much stuff for the first time together. I'm guessing you haven't seen Washington, D.C. before at the 930 Club.
No, I haven't been there. We played another one last year. What was it called? It was the same room,
Black Cat,
but we're at the smaller. We're in the smaller room,
still
downstairs.
Connected.
Yeah. We didn't get to see the bigger room. Someone else was sound checking in there.
But that's like part of the experience. You're coming in and you're seeing this stuff, and all the band is growing together.
Well, it's all crazy for us. Like, take this for example. In December of last year, towards the end of our tour, or I guess it would have been November, right after Thanksgiving, we played 2 shows in Denver. I can't remember the place. It was a 250 cap room, 2 nights. Either way, we come back to Denver in July and we played to 3,500 people.
And your family is
and
going,
that's in 6 months.
This is going so fast. Are they coming back to you and saying, don't lose control of the ship as it's basically leaving Earth? Because you guys are taking off so quick.
It's finally at a point now that this album is over, I've out into the public. It finally feels like I'm taking a deep breath and just being like, okay, this is life. Like finally taking the bigger picture and just being like, everything's okay. Cause it's been absolute chaos. Ever since the end of 2022, that was when the blow up started happening. Since then, this is like the first time in my life where I'm starting to feel at peace again, if that makes sense. Cause it's just been chaos, pure chaos for the longest time ever. And so
entertaining.
The rapid growth that's happened, it's hard to keep up with because one thing happens and you're like, wow, look at that. That's so cool. And then by the next month, you're doing something even crazier. So it's just been a constant trying to keep up and process what's already happened and get ready for the new stuff. And for the first time ever, it's like, here it is. I can look back and smile. I can smile about all the places that we've been and really take it all in because for a while, you kind of just white knuckle it and you're just trying to survive.
You've come a long way from being a bass player in a cover band, playing the local bar in Stillwater.
Oh yeah. It's been a fun journey. I just can't believe it's going by this fast.
Well, listen, I really appreciate you taking time to chat with us today. And I love seeing you on stage. So looking forward to more stages, more shows, more songs, more Wyatt Flores.
Well, thanks for having me.
Follow Music Row on X at Music Row Country, on Instagram at Music Row Official. Music Row is produced by Shed of Dreams.